The Rajpath, the political vein that runs through the heart of the capital, journeys our travelers through episodes of pre- and post-independence India. On one end of the Rajpath is the Rashtrapati Bhavan. Its walls have witnessed the overthrow of the British Raj and the glorious installation of the world's largest democracy. Standing tall against time and tide, these historical edifices represent the pillars of Indian democracy. The other end of the Rajpath cites the pride of the nation. A short drive from India Gate roundabout to the adjacent Tilak Marg reveals a monolithic institution regarded as the third pillar of democracy, the Supreme Court of India. The Supreme Court has an exceptional history, and its evolution to its present avatar is extraordinary. We all place true faith and expect nothing but rightful justice from the apex court. But how many of us know the significance of and services offered by this flag bearer of Dharma? Let's find out the answers to such questions and more through this state-of-the-art virtual tour. Exploring like never before our Temple of Justice. A study of the present is incomplete without an introduction to the past. During the British rule, an Act of Law replaced the Supreme Courts established at Calcutta, Madras and Bombay with 3 High Courts. This idea of an All India Court translated into reality with the inauguration of the Federal Court on December 6, 1937. 10 years hence, in 1947, post the drafting of the Constitution for a newly independent India, the Supreme Court of Independent India came into existence. The inaugural ceremony of the Supreme Court of Independent India was held on 28th January 1950 at the Princess's Chamber facing the central hall of the Parliament House. The court carried out its functions from here until the new building came into existence, the foundation stone of which was laid on 29th of October 1954. The Constitution confers on the Supreme Court original, appellate and advisory jurisdiction. Additionally, the court exercises the power of judicial review and is equipped with the authority to hear curative petitions and public interest litigations. As it is at the pinnacle of the judicial structure in India, all Indian civil and judicial authorities act in aid of the Supreme Court and abide by it. On 4th August 1958, the Supreme Court of Independent India moved to its present building. An architectural marvel, the building was designed in an Indo-British style in the shape of a balance with a pair of scales. One can't help but appreciate the well-planned compound of the Prime Court. Erected in the premises is a statue of the father of our nation. It welcomes visitors with optimism, reinstating their faith in equality and justice. Equally noteworthy is a 7-foot mother and child artifact. The masterpiece in bronze epitomizes Mother India sheltering a young republic personified by a child, upholding the law of the country, indicated by an open book. 2 pans of the beam balance serve as 2 wings, symbolic of 2 scales, join the central beam, which incorporates the largest courthouse chaired by the Chief Justice of India, along with 2 court halls on either side. Spanning an area of 17 acres, this Guardian of Justice accommodates 15 courtrooms chaired by Honorable Chief Justice of India and Honorable Judges of the country. An otherwise undisclosed yet remarkable sight inside this architectural wonder that embellished the walls of the Judges' Gallery is a mural of colored porcelain tiles. The mural exhibits the Goddess of Justice and the Father of our nation on either side of the extolled Wheel of Dharma. The exquisite beauty and the riveting history of this magnificent institution must have had your attention gripped so far. We shall now advance further to learn about how this esteemed institution functions and how justice is served at the apical level. The Honorable Chief Justice of the Supreme Court of India arrives early to the court. The Honorable Chief Justice and other Honorable Judges convene a meeting in the Assembly Hall to deliberate over crucial matters that deserve immediate attention of the court. The day's agenda is slated, and the Honorable Judges proceed towards their respective courtrooms to set the agenda into motion. The Supreme Court is a shrine for intense discussions and debates on issues that concern a large number of people of the country. However, how many of us are aware of the process through which a case is brought to the threshold of the Supreme Court? Let's find out. A duly authorized agent or an advocate on record files a petition in English language at the filing counter along with prescribed documents.
I don't know the name of registrar in your property mentioned in the town.
The petition, post due scrutiny, is presented before the court for hearing. On acceptance, it becomes a case that awaits justice at the hand of the Supreme Court judges. Being a court of record, the Supreme Court does not have a witness box. Advocates plead their cases and the bench adjudicates on hearing the same. By virtue of being a public court, it maintains a visitor's lounge to allow public access to all court proceedings once they have met the identity and security requirements prescribed by the court. Gates B, C, D, and E are open to pedestrian entry. To ensure convenient accessibility, the Supreme Court Visitor Management System was launched in the year 2014 which has made it easier to obtain the gate pass. Stationed a few meters inside the gates is a high security zone for security examination of the visitors and verification of their gate pass. The spine of all legal proceedings, regarded as one of Asia's largest libraries, this three-story judges' library is pivotal in maintaining, furnishing and processing all existing legal materials at lightning speed. With an ever-increasing number of cases being filed, the judges today shoulder the Herculean responsibility of resolving over 80,000 cases annually, having a case disposal rate of 2,650 cases per judge per year. Assisting in this Herculean task are hundreds of court employees working relentlessly under the guidance of the Secretary General, who heads the administrative wing. Better known as the Registry, the administrative wing is responsible for the efficient and effective functioning of the Supreme Court. The National Guardian of Law and Justice additionally assumes the role of an educator under the aegis of the Supreme Court Museum. The magnanimous Supreme Court of India has gone through a tough tide of times. Undeterred and indomitable, the Alpha Court rose steadfast to such controversial times. Through its landmark verdicts and independent regime, it has proved its mantle time and again, restoring faith in justice and equality amongst 1.2 billion diverse people of the nation. The architecturally coherent and artistically sound Supreme Court has over the years protected the Dharma from every peril possible. We hope that we were able to provide you with an informative insight into the various attributes of the Supreme Court of India. We sincerely hope that it was as much an enriching experience for you as it was for us. Jai Hind.